If you had told us on our anniversary trip to Morocco that we'd come home with a fourth cat, we would have laughed. Or, more accurately,
we are not becoming a fourth cat household.
I'm Francesca.
And I'm Alex.
And this is Zahra the Desert Cat's story. We already had 3 rescues at home. We went to the desert for quiet, for space, for a break from reality. But the cat distribution system works in mysterious ways, and it knows no borders. And in the Agafay desert, it sent us a tiny golden kitten who would change everything. The desert camp had no shortage of cats. They knew the routine. Tourists meant food, and they worked the camp like it was their full-time job. Some were bold, some were unpredictable, some were seasoned professionals. But Zahra didn't operate like the others. She didn't beg, she didn't cuddle, she didn't approach anyone unless she absolutely had to. She came only for food, and then she disappeared again into the brush. This wasn't a friendly stray. This was a cat doing whatever she had to do to survive. But something about her stood out. Not because she was cute, which she is, but because she was clearly trying hard to stay invisible, and I couldn't stop thinking about her.
In fact, the night before, I had actually saved a bit of leftover steak from dinner and rinsed the seasoning off. I figured one of the camp cats would want it the next day. The next afternoon, I actually saw her, tucked deep in the brushes, watching everyone but keeping as much distance as possible. I held out a small piece of steak, which she quickly inhaled. From that point on, she became our little shadow, and followed me back to our tent where Francesca was waiting. We sat outside the tent, and this little desert cat who had avoided everyone all weekend finally relaxed with us. She settled into our laps and completely passed out on our stomachs.
It was the first time that she'd let anyone actually near her, and suddenly everything shifted. For the next 3 days, she was everywhere we were. She followed us from bush to bush, like she was trying to stay undercover, but still keep us in sight. She showed up at breakfast, at the pool, at the fire pit, even when we didn't expect her. Every night, she waited outside our tent. Not for food, just to be near us.
Probably for food, too.
It stopped feeling like coincidence. It felt like she kind of made up her mind. But the morning that we had to leave, she sat outside the glass door and stared inside. And that was the moment that everything in me cracked. When I opened the door, she walked right in like it was the most natural thing in the world. No hesitation, no fear. She explored a little, and then she just sat there, watching us pack, almost like she was waiting for a cue. It didn't feel like we were leaving a stray cat behind. It felt like we were leaving someone who had decided that we were her people. I flew home thinking about her nonstop, the entire flight. Back in the US, I actually started calling vets in Morocco. 19 said no. Some didn't take rescues. Some couldn't travel. Some said they just weren't equipped. And then, one woman just said yes immediately. She didn't ask for money. She didn't hesitate. She just said, "Send me the location." She drove into the desert, found Zahra, and took her home. Then came the process. Spay, microchip, vaccinations, transport to Casablanca, finding a human escort, and then ONSSA export approval. We tried to find a flight volunteer. Every option fell apart. At that point, the choice was clear. If she was coming home, one of us had to go get her.
Despite what I had said at the start of the trip, it was obvious I was pretty attached. So I said, I'll go. We booked the flights, non-refundable. Francesca also had a non-refundable training that week, and we didn't want Zahra to get stuck in a kennel longer than necessary, so I was definitely the designated flight nanny. The plan was straightforward. Fly out Saturday night, land Sunday morning, meet Zahra after her 3-hour taxi ride, fly back that evening, land at JFK that night. Everything was lined up, and then ONSSA, the Moroccan Animal and Agricultural Export Agency, became the problem.
Our vet took every document Zahra needed to ONSSA, and they rejected her, because Alex wasn't physically present. We had already bought the flights. There was no time to change anything. For the next 24 hours, everything was uncertain. Every plan that we had might fall apart. And quite frankly, I spiraled, trying to figure out what our options were if this didn't go through. Then, our vet's husband stepped in. He arranged for his assistant to take Zahra to a different ONSSA office. We waited. And waited. And finally, approved. Zahra was officially cleared to leave Morocco. Now, Alex just had to go get her.
Zahra arrived in Casablanca after her 3-hour taxi ride, and the airline immediately rejected her carrier. Too big, didn't fit. So now I'm standing in a foreign airport with a kitten who needs to fly home that night and no acceptable carrier. I downloaded Moroccan Uber, everything was in Arabic, and left the airport with zero guarantee I'd find anything. Our vet was calling every pet shop she could find. Eventually, one answered. They might have the right size, but they were closing for prayer. When the owner heard why I needed it, he stayed open and waited for me. He helped me choose the right carrier, checked the zippers, made sure it met requirements. I rushed back. The flight was already boarding. At check-in, I realized Zahra's passport was still in the old carrier at the shop. Right then, the store owner called and said, "Don't move, I'm coming." He got on a moped, flew through Casablanca traffic, and showed up at the airport with her passport in hand. I ran through security, and that's when Zahra panicked. She twisted, slipped out of her harness, and launched into the air. No joke. I caught her mid-air. People gasped, and someone actually just said, "Whoa." Somehow, shaking out of breath, I made it to the gate in time. We boarded, we sat down, and for the first time that day, it felt like we actually would make it home.
They landed at JFK late Sunday night. As soon as the carrier opened, she recognized us and went directly to Alex. She climbed into his lap right away, calm and settled in a way that she hadn't been throughout the whole trip, according to Alex. We kept her quarantined and took her to the vet the next day. I'm glad we did. Her results showed that she still had multiple GI parasites and bacterial infections. She began a 4-week quarantine. During that time, she interacted with the other 3 cats only through a screen door that I had set up, just enough for them to get used to each other safely. After the 4 weeks were up, she integrated into the household, and she's adjusted to being a house cat pretty quickly. But Zahra wasn't the only one. Her colony, her siblings, her mother, her siblings from later litters, the cats that shared the same harsh landscape, are still out there with no medical care, no protection, and no real chance to survive long term. So, we created the Zahra TNVR initiative in partnership with ADON, a local Moroccan rescue group. The goal is straightforward: trap, neuter, vaccinate, return. It's a practical way to stabilize and protect the colony that she came from. Saving Zahra changed everything for us, and now we're trying to change things for them too.
We know we can't save all cats in Morocco, but we can definitely save and help the ones that we met on our trip.
So please consider donating to the initiative and help us make that a reality. Thanks.